No matter what you do and what we try to do to prevent it, injuries are obviously a part of sport and many times a part of fitness. And most people in that case are kind of scared to go to the doctor. Well, would you believe that there are actually some very simple procedures, even non-invasive, even in the world of orthopedics? Non-invasive and minimally invasive orthopedics with the Orthopaedic Group today on the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast.
Welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast
with Garrett Williamson.
Health, wellness, exercise, nutrition, and a whole lot more. Got questions? Call us and leave a message at 251-278-EDGE or message us at Personal Edge Fitness on Facebook and Instagram, at Team PE on Twitter, or personaledgefitness.com.
Good day and welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast. This is your host, Garrett Williamson, president of Personal Edge Fitness. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and thank you so much for the questions we've been receiving, especially about Crooked Carrot. Those guys are fantastic, and also Mike Johnson. We are reaching back out to you guys, and we'll be addressing some of those questions in shows coming up. If you're interested in or have any questions about the show, please feel free to reach out to me at Garrett, Garrett, at personaledgefitness.com. That's also, of course, our website, which is personaledgefitness.com, and our Facebook page. We've gotten many questions through Facebook, which, of course, is Personal Edge Fitness. But also, if you want to give us a call, you can call us at area code 251-278-3343. Of course, you know it's not foreign to us to see injuries. And we've talked about that several times on the show. Many of you that are clients have come to us for that. We do pretty much anything in fitness and sport that's not illegal, immoral, or fattening. And y'all do know that for the last 18 years, we've actually hired athletic trainers to be on staff because we see so much rehab and post-rehab work. But something that we see quite often, and that is the fear. That's the common fear, and I understand it, that many people have about going to see a doctor, especially when it comes with an orthopedic problem. Now, those can cause pain. I understand that. I've got a medial meniscus tear myself, and it's not stopping me from racing. But the problems that we run into are much like a particular situation I had several years ago. It's been 10 or 15 years ago. We had a client come in. I know this person well, and she actually came from a medical family. She was married to a physician, and she is quite obvious, even though my background is exercise physiology, it was quite obvious. We were looking at ACL tear, but she was absolutely terrified. I mean, just terrified to go and see an orthopedist, and knew several of them, but was scared to have anything done on her knee. She was a tennis player, and I knew what was driving this fear, and that was the fact that if I go see an orthopedist, tennis is over. And the great thing is we had an athletic trainer on staff. We knew what it was. We were able to coach her to go actually see first, to believe it or not, a PT, but then eventually it's an orthopedic surgeon. But it got me thinking, this is something we see commonly. And now in 2021, it's amazing to me that we're still seeing some of this. And what I would really like to make sure everybody is aware of is that, first thing, that's not the end. A lot of times it can be the beginning. And the medicine that we were practicing 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago has drastically changed. Well, joining me today on the show is Dr. Keith Spain of the Orthopaedic Group, talking a little bit about some of these new procedures. Dr. Spain, welcome to the show.
Hey, Garrett. Thanks a lot for having me today.
I want to get into what we were talking about a minute ago about minimally invasive and non-invasive procedures. But let's let everybody know who they're talking to. Where are you from?
So I actually grew up in Mobile. Grew up there, went to Murphy High School, and
Awesome.
Left for a while. Went down to Florida for all my medical training.
Okay.
And then came back here about 6 years ago.
Awesome. Why orthopedics?
So coming from a sports background, when I kind of decided I wanted to go into medicine and what do I really have a passion for, it was really helping the active-minded person get back to doing what they love, their passion. And
right.
That's one of the things for me is I've been injured, fortunately nothing real bad, but getting people back to doing what they love to do, be it play with the grandkids, cycle, run,
sure.
Of all ages and abilities.
I love hearing that. Our mission statement, and I'll say this actually in the show, and that is that we help people reach their level of wellness. We had a lady come in, and her goal was she wanted to get on the floor and play with the grandkids. And that's a sport. I mean,
Exactly.
really. How long have you been in the Mobile area now practicing?
So,
Or I say Mobile and Baldwin, because we're actually sitting over here in your Fair Oak Clinic.
Yeah, so this is my home over here in Baldwin County now. I've been here just at 6 years now.
Married? Kids?
Yes. Very happily married. I have 2 kids, a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old boys.
Good.
That are now into t-ball and soccer.
So I would say that you're somewhat familiar with the real world.
Okay, I would say so.
Let's get into this, though. Talk to us a little bit about I said non-invasive. I know that, but minimally invasive procedures. I mean, what are we talking about? I see people come to us for all kinds of orthopedic issues, but this is some of this is even new to me.
Sure. So what I do is my background is actually originally I trained in primary care and then did a fellowship in sports medicine.
Okay.
And that's where I really got my training in the minimally invasive procedures that we're talking about. So I do a lot of procedures both in the office that can be done, a lot of them with ultrasound, be it for both diagnostic or therapeutic. We were talking earlier and doing things that sometimes traditionally may have needed an operating room that we can do in the office. Like I mentioned yesterday, I had a lady with a piece of glass in her hand, another guy with a piece of fiberglass from a shovel.
Right.
We were able to remove those through a tiny little incision there and get them out, one stitch, and they're
out of there.
They're out of there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, right here, I guess in this office? Or
here in this office.
Oh,
Yes,
wow,
sir.
perfect.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
And then I have an interest in some of the minimally invasive regenerative medicine options, also for some of your non-surgical injuries, to try to get people back to that active lifestyle.
We were talking a little bit before the show. Used a word that made a lot of sense to me because many times we've had health professionals on here. We're talking about trying to lower that bar. This is not an intimidating thing. Many times I feel that people wait too long to go see somebody. So, but you use the word gateway, that you look at yourself as like a gateway professional in this field. Explain what you mean by that.
Yeah, absolutely, Garrett. I mean, again, I think it comes from my background there and that people that can come in and see me and, hey, maybe we just need to work with the physical therapist or the personal trainer.
Right.
Or, I work with some chiropractors in the area, massage therapist. We can guide you through a lot of the exercises that may fix the underlying problem, be it a gait abnormality or some kind of biomechanical problem that may be contributing to your problem, and especially if we can catch it earlier, remedy that before needing more aggressive interventional procedures.
You're talking basically preventative.
Preventative medicine also.
Right,
sure.
Right. You mentioned something a minute ago. Sorry, I want to go back to this real quick. And I meant to start with the show with it. You said you'd been injured yourself. You'd seen some injuries and what have you, and that's part of the motivation of getting into what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the statistics, most runners at some point are going to have some injuries. They're going to sideline them for some period of time.
Exactly. You don't need to go into your own injuries. I just figured you've been down that road also.
I have. I've trained for, the half Ironman distance, running exclusively in deep water running.
Awesome.
It's not exciting, but you get through it. But that goes back to what we can do. Hey, let's adapt. Okay, maybe you can't have the impact on the road, but can we do pool running?
Right.
Can we supplement it with cycling or other cross training stuff and correct those problems?
That's something we deal with day in and day out. And I talk about it on the show. Everybody knows it. And if you haven't heard it, episode starts with episode 16. It's a 5-part podcast on the lie of aging, and that is that just since time passed on a calendar, I'm just falling apart, and that's just going to happen. I'll have a chance. And I know that you don't believe that. So.
No, absolutely not. I try to fight it myself. I hit 40, and they say things change, but I'm trying to fight that constantly. But I mean, there's definitely differences as we age, and you have to treat that appropriately.
Right.
But look, I mean, just because someone's birthday says that they're a certain age, hey, they're still out there, be it playing with the grandkids, running, cycling, swimming, doing cardio at the Y. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
Sure.
You're doing something.
Right. And the injury is an injury typically is no different. I mean, what we see a lot of is we'll see people and I've got probably everybody we see has a pre-existing condition. They may be coming to us for weight loss. But weight loss, fantastic. Do you have any issues or what have you? Oh, yeah, I got a shoulder. I got a football injury here, and we spend so much of our time telling them, look, fine. We need to know what that is because we can address it, especially the muscles around it and what have you. So, which I know this is something you see all the time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and that's looking at the whole patient. I mean, it's every day I have someone come to me, say, for knee pain, and they're a runner, and we start looking at it, yes, the knee hurts, but a lot of it's coming from the hip or the core.
Right.
And so finding that, why do we have the knee pain?
Sure.
So instead of just treating the knee pain, let's get to the root of it and treat the whole patient.
I'm glad you brought that up about coming in for a knee pain. You find out it's a hip, it's a back, and whatever. So you find a lot of times it's from the feet. It's just from the shoes or whatever. So that's causing that trouble. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I was talking about earlier, we have people that we see that have injuries, and I told you about the lady that came in that really, they need to call you. She needed to call you, but she was just scared to, which shouldn't be the case. But if you've got somebody that thinks they have, maybe they've been through something like this before, think they have a problem, what would you tell them to do? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, clearly the easiest thing is let's come in and look at you. Again, I mean, I think I'm a pretty easy, approachable person to talk to, and most of the guys in our group are. And,
You didn't walk in here with a scalpel, so I was feeling pretty good.
Yeah, fortunately, they don't trust me with sharp objects generally.
Is that at home also?
Absolutely. But hey, come in. Let's take a look at it. And a lot of the diagnostic stuff we do here in the office now.
Oh, awesome.
Again, with my training in the ultrasound, there's a lot of things that historically we'd have to get insurance approval and get an MRI on that we can diagnose here in the office. I mean, everything from an ankle sprain to a rotator cuff tear, we can see that. So on your first visit, hey, let's get a game plan. Let's get a diagnosis. And hey, let's present you with options. And I'm big on that patient autonomy. And let's talk about our options. Do we want to go down just the therapy route, or there's injections that could help calm things down? Maybe you do those in conjunction.
Right.
Is it something that needs surgery? In which case, I kind of look at myself as like that gatekeeper, having work with a group of my partners that are specialists in their field. That okay, you need back. I can get you in with that guy. Right. Or you've got the shoulder. We've got the specialists in these fields that I can help direct you to the right person.
Well, y'all are the largest. I mean, the largest orthopedic group in the area. I mean, like 27 physicians or something like that.
Yes, sir.
So, well, it seems to me almost like you're a family practice for the orthopedic group. I mean, seriously, because it's gotten so specialized.
It really has, which I think is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, let's face it, a lot of the stuff that you want someone who really is focused on that. And so, like for me, it's on the minimally invasive procedures and the ultrasound and the regenerative medicine. Right. Where you've got a guy who does a lot of back surgery, and then a lot of it is general. And so we have our guys that are going to do a lot of the more general orthopedics. Sure.
But now you talked about this diagnostics earlier. That somebody come in, they can come in and get this looked at, ultrasound or what have you, for rotator cuff, but they got to wait 2 or 3 days to get the results back on that, or what?
No, so that's actually the beauty of the ultrasound that we do here in the office. Is I'm talking you through it as we do it. I mean, this is a no radiation thing we do here in the office. So as I do the ultrasound, I'm telling you what we're seeing.
So you basically like X-ray eyes almost. I mean, seeing what's going on.
Yeah,
there.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
but no, I mean, immediately you have that. We talk through it, and dynamically I can show you. Okay, well, look, here's a tear, and as you move your shoulder, whatever, you can see, does the gap open up? Okay, well, here's why it's a problem. Sure. Or you're looking at a ligament stability. Right. Well, we can dynamically stress that. Like you mentioned, an MCL on a knee. Right. Well, we can put that knee under torque, and does the ligament do what it's supposed to do? Right. And again, give the patient that diagnosis right now.
This is the same thing we run into. I mean, not every ACL is the same.
Yes, and so these injuries, they may not show up on a static image, or again, a static CT or X-ray or MR that you're laying still. You're like, well, yeah, my knee doesn't hurt when I'm laying down. Right. It's when I'm walking. It's when I'm moving, and so you can look at it dynamically too in the office.
I got you. Basically, replicating where people are feeling the pain.
You got it.
Too many times I hear that. I mean, you probably heard that too. And every time I go to the doctor, I don't feel it. I don't have a problem with it or something. So that kind of takes care of that issue.
Correct.
You've got kids yourself. Kids and running into injuries and preventative or whatever, what would you tell parents as far as, avoiding injuries and keeping your kids healthy, but keeping them in sport? I know you wouldn't be against that.
Oh, no, I'm absolutely for keeping kids in sport. I think it makes a much better, well-rounded child and family, and keeping the family together and the kids happy, and keeps them from being crazy at home. Sure. But the one biggest advice...
I'm sorry, you seem to speak from personal experience there.
Just a little bit. No, my kids are perfect.
Yeah, of course. There you go. So.
Is multisport. Mix it up. Let them play. Like I said, I've got one child loving t-ball right now, another one in soccer. Right. Expose them to basketball, expose them to swimming, expose them to gymnastics. Sure. Expose them to different sports. And that's really our one big thing we see in youth sports now, is that single sport specialization at the young age.
I would guess also in some of the single sport stuff, you may be producing injuries because you're not using the body as much. I mean, is that where you're going after?
Yes, sir, absolutely. Yeah, it was twofold. I think one is they never get a break from that same motion, and you don't get. It's almost like a cross training. Right. Runners. Okay, well, we're one-directional athletes, but you get people out there playing soccer. They do more side to side, or the gymnastics. The dance. These things that they're changing directions. And using the other muscles that God gave us. These muscles, we have to keep exercising them.
Period. Well, I promise y'all, I did not prep him for this. I'm not kidding you. He brought up the lateral movement, not me. This is something this is something I belabor all the time about hip problems when, as time passes on a calendar. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that when was the last time you moved sideways for anything?
Yes.
I mean, not until 2014 did they mass produce a piece of cardio equipment that had lateral movement. Octane came out with the Lateral X. You hear what he's saying now. Starting at a young age, like you said, soccer, something like that, where they're engaging those hips, they're engaging those muscles.
Yes, absolutely.
So fantastic. There it is, the lateral movement that you hear me preaching about all the time. We've got 8 different ways of dealing with lateral movement at the facility, and now you see why. I mean, now you heard it from a professional. How about that? Now, everybody is probably surprised about the fact that since I have everybody well knows that all my children are 4-legged and furry, though we do have our youngest client 7, our most senior client is 92. We've got 35% of our clientele over the age of 65. We work with all ages, but I brought up kids. I was a little surprised about that. Speaking of that, though, I mean, what age groups do you see? Tell me about your demographics.
So I see all ages, honestly.
Okay.
And from quite young to quite not young.
I got you.
Chronologically, though, again, they may not act like they're not young. Experience, yes. And so we'll see all that. A lot of the younger ages, it's overuse. Obviously, the broken bones, we see our share of that. Right. And then you get into the middle ages, overuse again. Then the more degenerative osteoarthritic problems. We see a lot of knee arthritis beginning at that age, hip arthritis. Back to the minimally invasive, I do a lot of hip injections here in the office.
Oh, wow, okay.
You don't have to go to the surgery center or the hospital and get that done. Again,
oh, great.
You can do that on your first visit. Hey, let's try and get you back out there, help facilitate that, get you feeling better, get you started on your therapy. Let's get you moving again. And then as we age, we do see more of that overuse and wear and tear type stuff. Right. And
so you see a good bit of that too. I love the fact that you brought it, that y'all do the hip injections in here. And we love that because then we can get people out of pain enough to start working the muscle in that area.
Oh, yeah, Garrett, I tell people that every day. I'm like, look, the injections I give, they usually don't fix you. A lot of that is it's just making you feel better so that the therapist can make me look good. Right. Because we've got to get you moving. I mean, that's what's really going to get you better is strengthen the supporting muscles to support the bones and joints that wear with time. Keep them moving. This
is what you've heard me say many times about. We talked about when I did the podcast on muscles. We talked about the fact the muscles basically are the armor there for the bones, and if you don't have the muscle strong, whatever, then the pressure, all of the damage is going to go to the bone. It's there to protect it. So I thank you for reiterating that. What's the most common thing you see? I mean, you see a lot, but what's one of the most common things you run into? You see.
The most common are going to be your chronic tendonitis or tendinopathies, be it in the knee and the elbows, the tennis elbow, your golfer's elbow, the shoulder, a lot of rotator cuff tendonitis, tendinopathy, bursitis. You'll hear about hip bursitis, and then your arthritis. Right. And again, I mean, your fractures. The kid falls and breaks their arm,
that's typical.
Put them back and get them back out there as soon as we can.
The tendonitis that you're talking about, the bursitis, some of those, that's the stuff that you're saying that you can handle a lot of that right here.
Yes, absolutely. Those are the things that we can, again, try to correct the biomechanics or some of the minimally invasive procedures, whether it involves injections or not, and some medications and different things that we can do to get you back.
One of the most common things we see is rotator cuff. I mean, I don't know if it's the number one, somewhere in there, low back problems.
Of course.
Rotator cuff it seems to me that you can't get to a certain year on the calendar without having some sort of rotator cuff issue. And I think that too many people are in that idea, which you were talking against a minute ago, about, well, it hurts when I do that activity, so I'm just going to stop that activity. Well, that's leading to, am I right, frozen shoulders, all kinds of problems like that.
Yeah, absolutely, Garrett. I mean, if we can get you moving, keep you moving, avoid some of the other down-the-line problems that you can develop with it. Right. And like you're saying, I mean, a lot of people are going to have rotator cuff tendonitis. Well, can we calm that down? Can we fix it? What's the underlying issue? Sure. And strengthen the supporting muscles. And so, like you talked about earlier, you said, well, if someone's worried they have a rotator cuff tear and they're like, I don't want to have surgery, well, that's okay. Yeah. A lot of times, depends on the age and a lot of other factors there too, but there's a lot of things we can do that let you compensate with that. You treat the patient, not the picture.
Bingo.
Just because the picture says that you've got arthritis. I mean, I've got an 84-year-old. You look at her x-rays and you'd say, oh my gosh, how is she walking? Well, the lady's playing tennis 4 days a week.
Excellent.
And I wouldn't want to play against her.
I understand,
But, so you got to look at the patient along with those diagnostic images.
Right. Like you were saying earlier, every single one of those injuries, every single one of those problems, it's different. These guys are not, their first idea is that, hey, let's just go in and cut on something. Hey, let's get you back active and what have you is their main goal. For people that are interested in more information, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, I mean, the easiest things to do is just call the office. It's the Orthopaedic group. We have offices in Mobile, Saraland, Fairhope, Foley, and then a couple other satellite clinics all on our webpage.
Right, okay.
theorthogroup.com.
Great.
Our main phone number, you can give us a call, 251-476-5050. And then our phone rooms can set you up with the appropriate physician, appropriate office, make it easy for you. In a timely fashion. Get you in and let's get the ball rolling and getting you better.
Perfect. Well, and anybody, if you missed any of that contact info on the podcast, that's going to be on our social media pages. We'll have it listed there. Give these guys a ring. Especially, I can't push this enough because we see so much of this. Don't go living with that pain. Get it checked out because most likely, many times, like Dr. Spain's saying, you can get that fixed in the office. And if nothing else, I appreciate you lowering that bar today. So,
absolutely.
Dr. Spain, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you being on the show.
I appreciate you having me.
Once again, injury is a part of sport. Injury is a part of fitness. We see this, but it is not an end game by any means. As long as we address it, we've got the professionals out there that can handle this. And like Dr. Spain was saying, they can do this many times simply in the office and get you back to chasing that level of wellness. Hey, listen, thank you so much for tuning in today. Check us out next week. If you like it, please like and share. And also, if you have any questions, reach out to us at area code 251-278-3343. You can also contact me at Garrett, Garrett, at Personal Edge Fitness. That's also our website, Personal Edge Fitness, and our Facebook page, Personal Edge Fitness. Thank you again for tuning in, and check us out next week.
Thanks for listening to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast with Garrett Williamson. Subscribe now and be a part of the show by calling 251-278-EDGE or message us on Facebook and Instagram at Personal Edge Fitness or at Team PE on Twitter, and visit us at personaledgefitness.com.